What's going on, guys? I'm live on YouTube. Ain't that awesome? So, yeah, share your screen with your audience. Hold on, we're not doing that yet. We'll do some plats. Go to UFC. Oh, hold on. I think this is the way to go. It seems more straightforward than before, but we'll see. I'm trying to get the game. I'm trying to get this all figured out here. Oh, that's muting. That's unmute. Edit. We'll do cancel. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to get this all situated. Hope you guys can hear me good. Maybe we should just do Windows, right? Share that, I think. And then maybe now you guys can see me. I'm not sure necessarily. What if I do minimize this, right? Go to small. Nope, not that. Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see it. And yeah, we're going to keep rocking. So listen, we need to talk about this one specifically. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. I'm still confused as to why we're doing this. I'm not sure why this is going down. I don't get it. Because I don't know what's in it for either party, because I don't think Red Panty Night is a thing anymore, right? Because they're under like new contracts with Paramount. It's not on pay-per-view buys, at least in the States. It might be in other country, or in other countries it still is, I guess. But in the United States, it's not that way. So I don't think pay-per-view points count anymore. So I think you get what you get regardless of the situation. So I don't think Red Panty Night's real. I also think it's crazy that Conor McGregor, I don't care that he's the biggest draw in the sport ever. I don't. I don't know if he's even necessarily the biggest. I mean, he's still the biggest star in the sport. It's clearly, but I don't know if that's a good thing. That's clearly, like, to me, that's a problem. That tells me that the UFC has a huge star-making potential issue. But do they even need to make stars anymore with this Paramount stuff? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure at all. But yeah. Because here's the deal. I don't think this fight's going to turn out, and maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, this is why I love this sport. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Conor McGregor pulls off the upset, beats Max Holloway, because he's a huge dog, as he should be. Max Holloway, at his weight class that he won the belt, 145, he's knocking people out at 155. They're fighting at 270, welterweight. So, what is that, 270, right? So, 170, sorry, 170-ish, somewhere around there, 180. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's see. So it's a welterweight. So it's going to be the biggest I've seen Max. I think that's like 180 or whatever. 170, 180, somewhere around there. God, you'll show. Either way, it's going to be the biggest we've seen Max. It's not the biggest we've seen Conor. If anything, Conor's going to cut down. Conor's probably walking around bigger than this right now. So he's walking bigger than welterweight. Max Holloway, he's coming up to welterweight. He might walk around at welterweight naturally, but I'm not sure. Sorry if you guys can hear my dog in the background. She's she's being a doggo. Big old lab. Anywho, I'm not, Conor McGregor's been out 6 years. Max Holloway's fighting at welterweight. Maybe the power translates, but maybe it doesn't. Max Holloway's not used to getting hit, by these guys inside the octagon. Maybe in practice, I'm sure in practice or whatever, but they're not going full bars. I don't even know if Max spars anymore. He might do like light sparring, but you're asking a man to come back from a broken leg. He broke his tibia and his fibia. You're asking him to come back off not only that, but a 6-year layoff off his age. How old is, let's see. Let's see. Let's see how old Conor McGregor is. Let's take a look, see here. So, does it show his? Oh, here we go. Striking accuracy 50%. Yes, he's a good striker. Yes, he is. His athletic record. So he beat Cerrone, then lost to Dustin twice, and then before he beat Cerrone, he lost to Habib. So he's not, I wish it would tell me what his age is. I mean, he's older. He's like 36, 37. If I'm really wrong, 38, right? He's up there. He's up there in age. So he's older. Max Holloway's 35, 36. So he's in his prime. So all this stuff plays a factor against Conor McGregor. I'm not saying Conor McGregor can't do it. I'm still just trying to figure out why. There's no point. None of this benefits either fighter. I'm not saying it's not going to be a cool fight to watch. It is. I'm just trying to figure out, why are we here? Why Max Holloway? Why Conor McGregor? And why these two together? That's all I'm trying to figure out. McGregor has 2 fights left on his contract. I know he wants to hurry and get them over with, because I'd be willing to bet that he's done with the UFC, especially since he doesn't get pay-per-view points anymore. He can go to another company, get pay-per-view points, do his thing, or UFC is going to give him a ridiculous amount of money to stay. And I mean a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know how true that is, but that would be my assumption. So I don't know. But it just doesn't make – it's a good fight to watch. Don't get me wrong. It's one of those fights that, like, yes, I'm definitely going to tune in to watch this fight. It's going to be it's going to be cool to watch. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what's the implications. I already know that if Conor McGregor wins, they're going to throw his ass in a title fight. But if Max wins, what does this do? Conor's not ranked. He's not, especially if he beats Conor McGregor in the fashion that I think he's going to beat him. He's supposed to win this against Conor. Conor is he's the biggest name in the sport, but now he's only had name value. It's not like, he didn't look great against Dustin Poirier both those times. Yes, he beat Cowboy. But I mean, all those are ancient, 5-6 years ago or further back. So it's like, what version of Conor are we getting, guys? What version of Max are we getting? Max, you don't have to worry about too much, but I don't know. It's going to be at welterweight. I've never seen Max fight at welterweight. So what version of Max are we going to get? Is he going to be able to, keep up with the speed and the stamina? Is he going to be able to handle Conor? Because Conor will be dangerous for the first round and a half. First round. So first round for sure. And then maybe after that, a little bit into the second. And then that's it. He's definitely not going all 5 rounds. Conor McGregor is not going. He does not have the tank for that. He does not have the gas tank for that. Never has, never will. He just doesn't. And that's not to knock on him. Not everyone does. And then, can Max Holloway, is his chin still good after fighting, Ilia, and then now he's fighting another dangerous striker that has heavy hands? I don't know. I think Max is fine. I think Ilia was a truly once-in-a-lifetime smack on Max. I don't think his chin's compromised. I think Ilia just hits that hard and he's that good. But I do know if McGregor wins, they're gonna throw his ass in a title fight, or they're gonna dangle it over his head like, hey, if you resign with us, your next fight will be a title fight. If you don't resign with us, your next fight will be who knows. And they don't even know when they'll schedule it. He wants to fight sooner, according to his when he was on Ariel Helwani, but the UFC wants him to wait. I didn't think the UFC could make you wait for a match. I thought they have to offer you, 3 fights a year. But maybe it's different in Conor's contract. I don't know. I don't know how the contracts work anymore with Paramount, anyways. But I don't. We'll see. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not overly, I don't know. I guess I'm not as much as in the hype as everyone else. I'm more hyped for Paddy Pimblett for Saint Denis. I'm excited to see Paddy back in there. I'm excited to see what Paddy would do after the beating he took by Dustin. I just want to see. I want to see his leaps, his bounds, what he proved to me that he can hang. He got beat by Justin Gaethje. That's fine. That's an admirable loss. But he also in that fight proved he's tough as shit and he's willing to throw and bang. So I'm excited to see Paddy fight again. That's what they should do. If Paddy wins and Conor wins, they should do that fight next. Keep any talks of titles or anything out of it. It's nothing, bro. Keep the titles of talks out of it. It's not, Conor does not deserve, he does not earn a title. I don't care if he's the biggest name in the sport. I don't care if he drew in the most amount of money. I don't care. I'm so tired of fighters being able to leap over other fighters. And hopefully with this new ranking system that they got going on, the UFC is going to be more integral to the ranking system, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. Who the heck knows? I don't know. They may not, the UFC might just say screw it and do whatever they want. But if that's the case, then why have rankings and why does it even fucking matter? You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling that's what the UFC will still do. I have a feeling the UFC will still do just whatever they want to do and not what, and not hold integrity to the rankings. I don't know for sure though. Only time will tell with that since they got their hands in the rankings now. But I have a feeling the UFC is going to do whatever the fuck the UFC wants, and then they're going to say it's a sport because it is a sport. But at the same time, they're like, it's a sport, but we're not going to treat it like a sport. We're going to do what we want because we're the UFC. That's the thing. It's like sanctioned cheating. Instead of the best fighting the best at all the time, it's the best. It's what can make the most profit. And I get that, and I understand that. And the UFC is a business, but it's either a sport or a business. You know what I'm saying? It could be a sport and a business if you hold the right integrities, and sometimes the UFC doesn't, and it drives me fucking nuts. It does. It just drives me nuts. So I don't care about, it's hard because when you want integrity to a sport or whatever, you want to stay faithful to the rankings and all that stuff because it matters. If the UFC or if whatever, the UFC is portraying this guy's the number 5 guy, that means he's really fucking good. And you want to see him fight the best or around like Paddy, like 5 and 6 fighting. That makes sense. But Conor McGregor is not even ranked. We don't know where he stands. He hasn't fought in 6 years, but yet he's getting all this special treatment. To me, I just don't like it. I don't care. It's okay that him and Max are fighting, I guess. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why they're fighting. I don't know what's on the line. I don't know who gets what from here if who wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. What's on the line? Is it just, I know they're selling it right now as a chance for Max to get his revenge, but you're getting revenge off a guy with a broken leg who hasn't fought in 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really revenge? Are you really getting revenge? Because I don't think we're getting the prime Conor McGregor. He ain't in his prime anymore. With all the alleged outside activity that he's done, and then plus what he's done, what happened to him in the ring, I don't see him being that great. I don't see him being absolutely terrible, but I don't see him being like the Conor of old. And even the Conor of old, in my opinion, was not the best fighter, one of the best fighters on the roster. He was the best in the sense, he won 2 belts in 2 different divisions. That's cool, but he didn't defend either of them. He went and played hooky and fucking did whatever he wanted. That's why I get mad when people put Conor McGregor on a Mount Rushmore of greatest fighters of all time. And it's like, dude, no. First off, in my opinion, to be considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, you had to have held the belt and defended the belt. This dude did not do it in either division. So the minute he got the belt, he ran, basically. The dude was not prepared to have all that heat on his back. And I don't blame him. The dude got his money. Like, he got his money. He obviously did it smart. The dude got paid the most for the least amount of work. You know what I'm saying? So, I could see why he pulled out. Why take all that extra damage when you don't need to? That makes sense to me. I just don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing with these guys. Paddy Pimblett versus, this makes sense. This makes sense because it puts the winner of this fight of St. Denis versus Paddy Pimblett, at least in talks, are way up there next in line for the belt. And lightweight is popping. All the lower divisions, basically below heavyweight or below, light heavyweight, they're all popping. They're always popping. There's always fighters. Number 4 against 7. If Corey wins, he'll be screaming for another title shot. Not for another, but for a title shot. If Bautista wins, he'll have to fight one more time. I know he will. He'll have to fight unless it was a spectacular, he beat the brakes off Corey. But if Corey Sandhagen wins, he will be fighting for the belt next, most likely. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily, but that's what will happen. Corey Sandhagen's been being pushed crazy hard. And he's good, but he's good when he sticks to what he's good at, wrestling. Let Corey base everything based on his wrestling and go from there. If he wrestles Batista, mixes up the feet with the hands, mixes up the wrestling with the hands and the feet, then yes, he's one of the best fighters. But if he just throws caution to the wind and just tries to strike, he's not the best striker in the fucking lightweight division. He's in the bantamweight division. He's just not. He's good. He's good enough to hang, but he's not good enough to hang long term. So again, it depends on what type of Corey are we getting. I don't know. Brandon Royval versus Loner. I don't know. Kavaya. To be honest with you, don't know much about these two. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure I've watched them fight. It's just a blur when you've watched as many fights as I have, especially like every day. I'm constantly rewatching older fights, so I don't quite remember these two. But I'm sure winner of this, top 2, 3, they're next in line for the belt, the flyweight, and yeah. So I don't, but I do know this one: King Green versus Tracy or versus Terrence McKinney. Obviously, I'm going for Terrence. And this ain't the knock on King Green. I'm not knocking on him. I think King Green is a great fighter. I will always watch all his fights, but I want to see proper progression. King Green's old. I don't want to see. Yes, everyone loves a good comeback story where the old guy comes up and still has one more in him, but I want to see longevity win out because King Green doesn't have longevity anymore. He's getting close. He's been finished a few times. He's getting close to the end. So Terrence McKinney, I want him to win for the sake of that, but I'm a King Green fan. I would love if King Green pulled up another upset. That's just either way. It's a win-win situation. And that fight is not going. Actually, let's see. Hold on, because I think King Green's last couple fights have all been to decision. Let's take a look at these two. Hold on. Let's see. First off, let's take a look at Terrence. Okay, wins by knockout 9, wins by submission 9. So you're going to get an all around. You don't know what you'll get with him. Striking accuracy is 56. Takedown accuracy. He's landed 20 attempts, 0% though. Got none of them. So the dude tries for takedowns. Takedown average is 3 point. So these two don't make sense. How does 3.1 takedowns per 15 minutes? So he'll try at least once. Hopefully, but he'll do something with it. The dude's got 9 submissions. So you'll get a mixed bag with him. And then King Green, a.k.a. Bobby Green. King Green, though. We'll put respect on his name. King Green. 10 wins by knockout, 10 wins by submission. But King Green prefers to stand and strike. The only time he really goes for a takedown is if he's in trouble standing usually. So this is gonna be a good fight. But again, King Green's older now. I want to see. Let's see what his last. Hold on. Let's go down to King Green. So submission, KO, decision. So I mean, he's a mixed bag. I must be thinking of another fighter then. Who's the other fighter that came over from Bellator that was supposed to be great, but kind of was eh? Who? Oh, Venom Page. That's who I'm thinking of. That's the one that keeps getting fucking wins, but it's all by decision. Never mind. The total different. King Green's been smacking it. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Holy shit. Never mind. I'm even more pumped for this fight now. Who the fuck knows gonna win that one? But that's a great way to start. I don't know why this is pulling up. I don't care. Not allow all. We'll do. Oops, sorry. Hold on. I don't know why. Jeez, this is driving me nuts. I don't care about all the cookies. Reject all. Anyways, just reject all cookies. Robert Whitaker. Oh, that's right. He's in light heavyweight now. Damn. Gable Stevenson's fighting. I can't wait to see that fight. But we'll talk about that one next. Man, dude's on a 2-fight skid. What was this fight on? I don't want to watch the replay. It was a fight night. Let's see the fight card. I want to see what they fought on. Middleweight. Okay, so this is his light heavyweight debut. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. Reject all again. Sorry. Man, how is Robert Whitaker gonna do in the light heavyweight? Let's see here. 13 wins by knockout, 16 by submission. Striking accuracy 54, takedown accuracy 2%, takedown attempts 54, takedown landed 1. He averages 2.5 in his career. Clinch grounds. The dude, he's not scared to go to the ground. Oh, he's only on a 1-fight win streak too right now. He's only won 1 fight. Okay. Here's the question. Who wins in that one? That's a little fuck. I'm going with my boy Robert Whitaker, biasly, because I'm a Robert Whitaker fan. And when you see him in his weight cuts and stuff, he won't have to do that nearly as much. So I'm going for Robert Whitaker. I think he will be okay at light heavy. He's gonna be a little short though, I think, maybe. I'm going for Robert Whitaker, but I wouldn't be surprised if the other dude wins. Now, Gable Stevenson he's supposed to be John Jones' prodigy, if I remember correctly. I don't know much about him. I didn't watch any of his other fights. I've heard he's the fucking man, though. I know he's a great wrestler, and I think Alicia Ellison doesn't have a fucking chance, and the odds reflect that. So, that's all. I mean, I think I'm going for Gable Stevenson. I want the heavyweight division to come back alive. Yeah. So I'm going for Gable Stevenson because I heard he's the shit. Cody Garbrandt. These are all for Cody. These are all must-win fights now. If he wants to ever get back to the heat to the top, because he's still young, if he ever wants to get back to the heat to the top of his division, he has to win every. If he loses one more fight of any of them, he will never touch gold again. I don't think even now he'll touch gold again. Luke Riley versus don't know, and these are early prelims. I think Tracy Cortez is going to win, and all the rest are really early. That's that. That's on that. What else I need to talk about? What we need to talk about right now is what I want to talk about is quick transition over from Conor McGregor real quick and all that stuff. I just talked about Conor, so I told you guys what I felt about that. Dustin. Here's what I think about Dustin. I don't think Dustin himself specifically has a problem right now. What I do think is I think it's a potential it's a not only a potential showing of where he's at mentally now, not just for him though, but also future UFC fighters. What are future UFC fighters about to go through? What are they about to deal with? Because the sport's only 30 years young. I know some of these fighters have gotten out and stuff like that, but the UFC and they themselves have done pretty good at setting themselves up. And the UFC doesn't really do that anymore. Here, Dustin said he's struggling. And it's an identity thing. You don't go from being, on paper, one of the baddest men on the planet, right? And then all of a sudden, and you're winning belts, you're the top of your division, you're the baddest dude. You're told you're the baddest dude, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up and now you're a normal person again. That's hard to deal with. And people, military people, I know the feeling. I was in the military. When you then enter back into regular civilian life, it's difficult. It's not easy. So I don't know. I think Dustin himself is going to be okay. I don't think Dustin himself is going to go super crazy. But I do think that this is a telltale sign for UFC fighters in the future that if you don't get your shit together and if you don't have a plan outside of what you're going to do, because you're not going to be a fighter forever. Obviously, focus a lot on fighting now while you're young, while you have a chance, or whatever, get your money. But there will be a time comes when the UFC is done with you, or when the sport in general is done with you. Dustin was lucky. He got to walk away on his own terms, but he knew his time was coming. And he walked out without taking too much damage. He did it right. That's not going to be for every fighter. Some fighters are going to wake up, and the UFC's literally, you're going to wake up to an email or whatever the case may be and say, hey, we're not renewing our contract with you. That's it. Especially those type of fighters or people like, John Jones, right? He's having trouble. But that dude has trouble in his career. He has a whole different set of issues, but he seems like he's doing okay, but I don't think he really is. And how could you? You consider the GOAT of a sport or whatever and all this and that. And for these fighters, that's what I'm saying. Money doesn't fix everything. Look at Conor McGregor. Look at John Jones. These guys have more money than most people know what to do with, and they still find themselves in trouble. They still get themselves in trouble because it's that lifestyle. It's that kill or be killed. That mentality that they have that you can't get on a rate, they're in trouble. And I'm not saying the UFC has to necessarily do anything. I think they, as far as like health insurance and stuff like that, I think the UFC owes it to their fighters to do that kind of stuff. But I don't think as far as like making sure their fighters are set when they're gone. No, I don't think so. I think that is on the fighters. But I do think we're going to see a lot more of mental issues when it comes to fighters and issues in general, because you're asking someone that it was a cage fighter for 20 years to then now not be a cage fighter, to then not have that mentality to do something else. And it's up to Dustin to figure out what he wants to do next in his life. It's up to him. He's the only one that can figure it out. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he pours all his energy into his hot sauce business or his charities or whatever else he's got going on, and he figures it out, because he is a good dude. I never met him personally, but based on what everyone says, and of course, every UFC fighter and every UFC comedians are going to say the majority of our guys are great. It's just like one or two or whatever. He's a great guy, and then come to find out they're not. So there's been plenty of UFC fighters that people said were great and turn out to be really bad people. So I'm not saying Dustin Poirier is a great guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. All I'm saying is based on what I'm told and what we're all told and perceived, he's a good guy. And if that's the case, I wish him the best. He can recover from this. It's this specific incident is not a huge deal. I mean, regular people all the time get drunk on fucking flights and get kicked off. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just a big deal because it's Dustin. So I don't know. And then one more topic. Ilia Topuria. Apparently, there's rumors that if he doesn't get the ultimate rematch, he's going to retire because he did everything in the sport. I always knew that was a potential for Ilia because he doesn't need money. He's got money. He did this for the love of the game and to have goals set, and he says he set those goals. So it was really hard for him to get motivation. And also he had a bunch of outside sources and issues he had to deal with and stuff. So, but he said that if he doesn't get the rematch, he's done. Dustin says he's not going to give him the rematch. Although, I don't think it's up to Dustin. Or Justin, sorry, not Dustin, Justin. I don't think it's up to Justin Gaethje on who the fuck he fights next. I think he's going to fight whoever the UFC tells him to fight because he's a UFC fighter. It doesn't matter if you're the champion. I think you get some sway in certain situations, but in other situations, if the UFC wants you to fight this guy, you're fighting that guy. It just is. It is what it is. That's just how it is. I think that fight will happen. I do. I think that fight's going to happen again. I really do. Or they can do, if Patty wins this, they can do Ilia versus Patty, and the winner of that fights Justin. Because Justin says he's done. Justin Gaethje said, yeah, he's done for the rest of the year. He says he fought more times this year than he wanted to, which he fought about 3, which is fucking standard. I'm so tired of fighters not fighting their standard anymore. I'm tired of fighters only doing 1 year or one fight a year and getting away with it. It drives me nuts. But anyways, I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think. Let me know. Let me know what you guys all think about the topics. Let me know what you guys think about Max Holloway versus Conor. What's going to happen there? Why is it happening? Dustin, is this going to be more to come, not just with him, but with other fighters? And what do you guys think Ilia Topuria is going to do next? Yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. So I hope it all goes good, guys. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I don't know how to stop this. Anywho, I hope everyone has a great day. And as soon as I can figure out, oh, there it is. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe this. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. You guys have a good day. I'm out.